Hello, live to talk about the 41st gene key. I'm excited to talk about this one because it's really a great energy to use to your advantage as you are beginning the year and for starting things for yourself and manifesting. So this one, along with a couple others that I'm going to sprinkle in there, is important to understand so that you can use this button to your advantage. So I'm just going to dive right into it. The 41st gene key comes in 3 different frequencies, right? So all the gene keys have different frequencies that we're working with. The shadow is the shadow, thanks everybody for hopping on, is the shadow of fantasy, the gift of anticipation, and the city of emanation. And this one in particular is called the start codon. And with all these different codons, they have to do with, they're linked to our genetics. They're linked to our DNA. And so when they're talking about codons, it's actually the amino acid that is associated with this gene key is then associated with a codon ring. And these codons ring have specific importances, and for the 41st gene key, it's part of the ring of origin, and it's the only one, and it's the only start codon. So this is the only start codon we have in the whole 64 gene keys. So it's kind of this button to begin something. It's like the key that opens all the doors, right? So I'm going to read you the ring of origin really quick. It says, the ring of origin plays a remarkable role within the human genetic matrix, relating to what is known in genetics as a start codon. It operates like a front door key into the code itself. It is the marker in the genetic script from where all life springs, the prime emanation. Every single start codon inside every single cell of your body is electromagnetically linked to each other. This is the foundation of the holographic body, which in turn is linked electromagnetically to the holographic universe. Nestled in the heart of the codon ring matrix sits the 41st gene key, the ring of origin, pulsing with the source code that it then transmits throughout the fractal network of your body and the universe. Everything is intrinsically connected, right? And so with the 41st gene key, when you have access to this gift frequency, which all of us do right now because it's active for the collective, the sun is activating this gene key for us to experience. And lucky us, if we are understanding it, we know how we can use it, right? And just because we don't have certain gene keys in our design or our profile doesn't mean we don't have access to it. If you can attune yourself right now to this frequency of the 41st gene key, you can access it whenever you want, because we're not limited by when the sun decides to activate a certain gene key or if we have it in our profile. So if you take the time to understand this gene key, you have access to that start button. So with this gene key, if you can think about your DNA, I want to show you kind of what it would look like. So we have different building blocks in our genetic code, and it makes up a combination of 4 letters, A, T, G, and C. And I think it's adenine, thymine, cytosine, glutamine, or something like that. I could be getting those names wrong, but A, T, C, G. And so there's different combinations, right? And the sequences look kind of like this. It just keeps going. And they're all code that's written for us. So remember, in computers, we have zeros and ones. And the combinations of zeros and ones will program the computer. And it'll make it do different things. And so we can use this code to then create programs, create viruses, create whatever. And with this, the code A, T, and G is the start codon. It's the 41st gene key. So whenever your body, your cell, is reading this line of code, as soon as it gets to ATG, it says, okay, this is really important. I need to stop and listen, because whatever comes after this is very important. It's like pressing a button and getting on the microphone to your cells and being like, hey, we're going to change things up a little bit. So when you have access to the 41st gene key, it's your way to manifest your desires into form, right? Because you have access to this key, to this button, this easy button, that will just open up your cells to listen and then do whatever you're saying. Because remember, we're the programmers, we're the creators. We are not a victim of our design. We are not a victim of our cells. We are not a victim of our DNA. We're not a victim of anything. We get to be the ones to create, to tell our body, to tell our cells what to do. And the more we understand about epigenetics, which in turn is kind of what Gene Keys is talking about, we are able to reprogram ourselves, reprogram our genetic code, right? And so with this one, it's about having access to this morphogenic field of possibilities and saying, I want to start this, I want to do this, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to create. I'm going to tell my cells and tell the universe, I have started this project, I have started this business, I have started this idea, I've started to manifest this into form. And when you are in alignment with your unique soul, blueprint, genius, and remember, differentiation is only about your filter, right? Your human design chart is about how this energy flows through you. The energy itself is not different. We all come from source. We are all creator. We are all source. But the way the energy moves through your design, the way the energy moves through your system is what makes it unique. So the way we push that energy, the way we manifest that energy is different from person to person to person. So once you kind of align yourself to your original design and know what your unique magical genius is, you can then be more aligned at picking those projects, those things that align with you, not with somebody else, not with this one or that one. You are able to align with yourself. And it's easier to manifest from that place of you're not trying to put a square peg in a round hole. Because sometimes we try to do that because we're not even realizing we're doing that. We're just seeing it work for someone else, and then we're like, oh, I can do that. I want to do that. And it doesn't work for us. So for the 41st gene key, the shadow has a lot to do with having these dreams, having these visions, having these ideas, and not doing anything about it. There's a quote in the book that says, genius manifest while non-genius fantasizes, or something of that nature. So in order for us to come into our genius, we need to start manifesting. We need to start pressing that go button. I feel like we're in doubt and we're like flip-flopping and we're so distracted and we're so, I don't know if this is in alignment, so we're like in and out and in and out. We got to commit to this button, press it, and start manifesting and start bringing this idea into form. That's what it's calling us to do. So so we have the start codon, which is the 41st. We also have stop codons. So very specific gene keys that take us through this beautiful journey of like trials and tribulations to get to our ascended selves. And so we're going through these trials and tribulations to get to enlightenment, right? And so there's these different trials and tribulations we go through. What is it? What is the ring called? The Ring of Trials. The Ring of Trials. The Ring of Trials has gene key 12, 33, and 56 together. So the start codon 41 and the stop codons, the three stop codons, kind of work together. And so we are going through the Ring of Trials to move into enlightenment, to move into this higher purpose. Because what's happening with the Ring of Trials is, I'm going to read you the description of it, because I think understanding the stop codons and the start codons is important. And remember, understanding just allows our mind to get out of ways so we can just let soul, let spirit, let source work through us. Because our mind will be like, I understand that. I can move aside. We're not going to die. So that's kind of why we dive into the gene keys and dive into this understanding, and why I do these contemplations with you, so that you can kind of understand it at an intellectual level and connect. The more you talk about it, the more you contemplate it, the more you start connecting into the living, breathing, vibratory field of each of these gene keys, because they're living, they're evolving. And sooner or later, what Richard Rudd has written in his book won't be applicable for now because they evolve. They evolve with us. And so the more we can attune ourselves to these frequencies, the more we can begin to connect to them and receive our own information and knowledge for ourselves. So for the Ring of Trials, the 3 gene keys that make up this unique codon group are related to what science terms the stop or terminator codons, behaving as a seal that closes up places where we leak energy. And such chemical punctuation marks have an unusual role of importance within the totality of our genetic code itself. When activated, this codon ring begins to unplug humanity from the illusory world of the outer senses. On a purely archetypal level, the 3 stop codons of the Ring of Trial lay out the great dramatic script of evolution itself, testing human beings on their road to self-realization. Every human awakening must arouse the hero or heroine inside, and that inner being must face mythical trials. And the mythical trials go like this. So we have the start codon, right? This is the first one that showed up for us. I can't remember if we already went through gene key 56 this year, but we're still needing to go through 12, 33, and 56. And this is what's going to bring different trials and tribulations to your life. If you have 12, 33, 56, or 41 in your profile, raise your hand, pop it in the comments. Let us know that you have this in your, showing up in your design predominantly, right? So I'm going to read you this, which is kind of really cool to understand what are these trials that they're talking about. That's really non-specific. I want to know what kind of trials I have to go through. So as the first of the 3 trials, and I'm looking at page 452 in the Human Design book, and it's actually in the 56 gene key that they start talking about these trials. The 33rd shadow sets the pattern of your forgetting and conceals your true universal nature. This trial means you must journey through time and space across many incarnations until you come back to a memory of your greater self. Because the problem with the 33rd gene key is it's about forgetting. You're forgetting who you are, and you start building up different karma stores in your body, in your sheets of consciousness, and that karma is then clouding your vision of what it meant to be connected to your higher self, to your true self. And so you keep building this karma, and it's like you're putting layers and layers and layers and layers on top of yourself, and you take on more karma according to the stuff that you are choosing to do in this life. So it's like, all right, yeah, I'm going to put on this layer and this layer. And then it's all about derobing yourself and getting raw and getting back to your essence. And so that's the first trial we go through, is this remembering, which most of us are on, right? So when you awaken, it's like, who am I? Who am I? And we go down this road. And so the thing that started this trial was probably the 41st gene key, where we got an opportunity to open the door. Somebody maybe showed it to us, or we had this kind of awakening, and we decided to go through the door. So we told all of ourselves, hey, let's begin this ring of trials. Let's figure out who we are. And so a lot of us, whether you have the 33rd gene key in your chart or not, are going through this. But it was activated, right, by the 41st gene key. We went through that door. And we started this ring of trial because they're terminator codons. They're trying to stop this samsara, this pattern from keeping on going, especially in the 33rd. It's all about unraveling yourself from these samsaras. So you're going to keep starting different things to unravel yourself from the samsaras until finally you get off the wheel and you're no longer incarnating on this earth anymore. And lessons learned, done, enlightened, moving forward. So that's what the 33rd is about. The second trial laid down is by the 56th shadow. It involves maintaining the illusion of your individuality by keeping you distracted by your 5 senses. As you remember more of yourself, you will come to realize the extent of your addiction to the external world. And over time, you will turn your energies inward and break this powerful addiction. So this is about disconnecting yourself from the distractions of your 5 senses and becoming intoxicated by the divine, only being distracted by the divine, only being distracted by this source, this inner source, not being distracted by what you see in this Maya or illusion. And to start this, a lot of us begin to tap into our senses, right? So we are like pressing the go button on the 41st gene key. I'm ready to start this ring of trial for the 56th gene key. I want to expand into my internal senses. I want to open up my third eye. I want to open up my clairaudience. I want to do all that stuff, right? And so that's what's connecting us to source versus hearing with our physical ear, smelling with our physical nose, which all of this stuff is created and programmed by the Maya or the illusion world. This is where we're at. And this is a game. This is for our enjoyment. And somewhere along the road, we made it super serious and we made it a life or death situation. And it's not fun anymore, except for those who have the secret that know that this is all fake and we're just here to have fun, right? And to share and manifest our genius into this world. It's just about playing. It's about returning to innocence. That's the remembering, is to return to innocence. Crazy, right? Okay. And then finally, the 12th shadow of vanity comes at the end of your evolution. It is the last great trials and tests the depths of your surrender to the ultimate. In this trial, you must give up everything you have attained in all of your countless journeys, and in doing so, you will attain final transcendence. So once you do this, it's like there's no going back. You're letting go of everything. You're surrendering to everything. Then you dissolve into the divine. And that's how a lot of the cities go, is you're dissolving into the divine, right? So it's more fun. It's more fun to play in the gifts, because the cities are so, it's a being state. It's a non-being. Like, you're just there. And you're just in total, complete peace and surrender. So anyways, with the 41st gene key, I wanted to talk to you guys about that because it's the front door. It's like, you want to start something new, you got to press that button, you got to turn the key, you got to open the door, you got to go in there. So the 41st gene key, I feel, is a really awesome one to attune yourself to have in your holographic profile. If you guys have it in your profile, let me know where in your profile you have it, because I'd love to know. I'd love to know where that shows up for you. So the 41st gene key attunes you to the morphogenic field of the universe, of yourself, and it's where you can learn new skills. It's where you can, like, they say that Mozart had access to this morphogenic field because he was like downloading directly from this field and just creating these beautiful pieces of music, right? And we can all do that. If you can attune yourself to that field, you can access anything. You know how they were talking about, I don't know, a while ago, they were talking about, even in movies, they talk about, oh, we're going to take a chip and we're going to put it in your brain. It's just going to download everything to you. You can already do that by accessing the morphogenic field. That's kind of how I connect into the gene keys. It's kind of, I found that place, attuned myself to that frequency, and then was able to read this and understand it and then pull more information from it. It's like everything just clicked, right? And so you don't even need to read this. You can just tune into it and pull from it and download from it. So I created a meditation activation for you guys to attune yourself to this morphogenic field and to download your higher purpose from it. So I feel like everybody has like a part of the morphogenic field that is attuned specifically for them, for their higher purpose, for them to gain that information from. And so I created a meditation where I take you through resetting all of your systems and then deciding to stop going on this wheel of samsara and to then start aligning yourself with your higher purpose in your physical body. Because a lot of us will go up here and connect to it, but we can never get out of fantasy la la land and manifest it into form. So here we're pulling it into our physical body. We are commanding ourselves to align with that higher purpose, and we're then manifesting that magical genius into the world. And so I created that for you guys. If you're interested, it's $14.41. There's a PayPal link there. Just message me and say, I bought it. Can you send me the link? And I'll send it to you. If you're interested in Magical Monthly, you get 2 activations per month plus the experiences that we do in Magical Soul, and you get that delivered to your inbox for $11.11 a month. So a little bit, so you can get 2 activations and one experience for $11.11 versus $14.41 for just the 41st gene key. I just recorded that one this morning, and it was so awesome, the journey that I was taken on to guide you guys through. So if you're interested in that, I would love you guys to purchase it and let me know how you're doing. If you're part of the 1111 group, it's going out to you today. So you'll be getting that in your inbox today. What else did I want to say about the 41st? Did you guys have any more questions about the 41st? Honestly, it's pressing the start button. So if you guys are wanting to manifest anything right now, if you're wanting to start anything and you're kind of thinking about it, it's time to press the go button. So what I would inspire you guys to do is to like write in your journal all these things that you're wanting to, you desire to create, you desire to manifest, you desire to do, and just activate that 41st gene key and let your cells and the universe and everything that's connected work to manifest this for you, to make this happen and to make this come into form. You need to take action. And so you also need to listen to the guidance of your soul, the guidance of your heart. And that's what's going to allow you to manifest into form. Because you can't just press the button and be like, okay, I'm waiting. Let's like, are you going to bring it to me? There's nudges. Like you got to do the work too, right? Not all of you are at that beautiful level of instant manifestation where you're like, chair, appear, and it's like right there. You're not there yet. Well, let's face it, none of us are. So I would definitely listen to that meditation or take time in your own meditation to connect to the 41st gene key and to feel into that frequency, and also ask to be shown the morphogenic field, because that is, you can download anything off of it. It's like having a storage bank of everything that ever was. And be like, I want to know advanced calculus. Let me download that, right? And then the more you do it, the more you practice it, the more it starts unlocking for you, because you're attuning yourself to the frequency of that wisdom and of that knowledge, right? Or if you guys are wanting to download something completely new and unique to you, that's why I created that meditation, so that you can download off of your particular morphogenic field and get your insight into what are you creating, what are you designing for your life, and what is most aligned for you and your purpose and your unique magical genius. Because we all have our own things we're here to offer the world. And it's important for us to just stop getting distracted by Joe Schmo and whoever's over here, and focus in on what we're here to create, what we're here to manifest. Because those stop codons are going to come in and be like, you don't know who you are, 33rd gene key. Let's get distracted by all of this like stuff that's going on in the outer world, all of the noise, all of the chaos, all of the smells, all of the taste. I want to just indulge in everything. And then it distracts you from your higher purpose, 56th gene key. Or the 12th gene key, where it's all about vanity and you, and it's about you attaining all the things that you can, and just really wanting to accumulate. And accumulate doesn't have to just be personal things. It could be knowledge. It can be spiritual gifts. It could be those people that I've done the work and I'm better than you. Let's release that. We're all the same. We come from the same source. So at the end of the day, and the reason why the 12th gene key asks you to release everything is because it wants to remind you that we all come from the same source. And when you strip down everything, you're the same as that person and that person and that person, right? The distinction comes from when we start manifesting from our filters, from our unique design. So those are the things that are going to keep us in la la land and not manifesting into form, right? Oh, Lisa, you have 41.6 in your pearl. Beautiful. That's awesome. My friend Allie has 41 in her pearl as well. So remember, your pearl is what unlocks these great evolutionary leaps for you. So the more you understand your pearl, the more it unlocks things in all other aspects of your chart, because it's that pearl. Once you understand your pearl, it kind of catalyzes you into breakthrough, catalyzes you into these quantum leaps of your awareness. and it unlocks new things in your life's work, your culture sphere, your vocation. And it's kind of the, I don't know, it's just really important for us to understand our own personal pearls and how they manifest and play in our lives. So if you are interested, purchase that 41st Gene Key Activation Meditation. If you have any other questions about the 41st Gene Key, pop them in the comments and I will be sure to reply to them. If you have the 41st Gene Key at all in your profile, there's a heavy weight with this one with writing. And a lot of you who have the 41st Gene Key are going to be pulled to writing, and do it, because that's another way of creating, right? And so maybe also part of, this just came in, part of the reason we become attuned to the 41st Gene Key is because we need to start translating the stuff from the morphogenic field. And so manifesting your genius, right, from fantasy to emanation, anticipation, we need to write it out. So attune yourself, drop into your heart, listen, and transcribe what you are feeling is coming through for you from the morphogenic field. Because it's very writing based, right? That doesn't mean you have to be a writer. That doesn't mean you're going to write a bunch of books, but you can. Because it's almost like you're downloading from the invisible and making it visible. And so maybe some of you are going to be creating works of art too. I don't know, whatever calls you. So I'd love to see what you guys are deciding to start. Press the go button on, and what that's gonna look like for you. Because remember, genius manifests, non-genius fantasizes. So don't get caught up in that trap. And happy connecting to the morphogenic field. You have a couple days. Attune yourself to this frequency so that you can always have access to it. Because I think it's a really groovy gene key to have access to. So again, if you have any questions, let me know. If you want to purchase that meditation activation, the link is there. And expect more of these mini contemplations in the year to come, because I'm going to try to do it for each of the gene keys that come up. Okay? Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Bye.